How are we all? And welcome back to Turf Moor House TV. Now, two things I want to mention first. It might start looking like a disco in here at one point. Twice now, prior to us going live, the light bulb has flickered. So I think it's on its way out. So anybody that's epileptic or anything like that, do apologise firsthand. It's not me. It's I blame the landlord, dodgy electrics. But no, get that one out the way first. Secondly, thank you everybody for tuning in today. Really does mean a lot, and it's good to bring yet another preview, especially on the back of the recent successes we've had in recent weeks. And what a performance against Watford! That's all I can say. I am happy to and pleasure to be joined by Rich from a Villa Park podcast. Rich, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. Pleased to be on and looking forward to the game on Saturday.
It should be good. It should be an interesting one. First and foremost, mate, let everybody know where they can find your stuff and where to follow you.
Yeah, of course. So we've got our main Twitter and Instagram page at Villa Park Pod. And I'm also on Twitter at Southrich. So that's my personal one as well. So yeah, follow us there. Follow me on Twitter. And then we release our podcasts on all the main audio podcast channels at the moment. I was linked with Baz on the Northeast, the Newcastle fan on his channel, World of
Oh
Sport
yeah, I know,
TV.
man.
But he's kind of moved to more just Newcastle only now. So looking to set up my own YouTube channel over the coming weeks, maybe even wait until next season now. So look out for that, the channel on YouTube. But as it happens at the moment, just all your main podcast platforms to listen to. And yeah, we've just done a Burnley preview as well. So look out for that if you wanna get it from a more Aston Villa perspective, with a little bit of respect for Burnley as well.
Not wrong with that. There's got to be a little bit of respect out there. It's the claret and blue in us. We've got to stick together at some point.
Exactly.
Plus, the
Yeah.
two of us are speaking about this while one team in claret and blue's getting beat. So
Are they? I don't
they're
know the
currently
scores
one
at the
0 down.
moment.
Last time I looked, they were 1-0
Oh dear.
down and down to 10 men as well.
Oh,
So
that's it for
bad
them. What about
times.
Rangers?
They're 2-0 up at half time.
Excellent.
Rangers 2-0 up at half time. Leicester's losing 1-0 in the Conference League. And yeah, as I say, West Ham's 1-0 down and 10 men after Aaron Cresswell getting sent off.
Oh
So
dear.
it's all happening. It's all happening. But yeah, people, you can find the link to Villa Park Podcast. I think I've got the Spotify link in the description below. So do head over to that link if you are interested in listening to, as you say, Rich said there is a Burnley one coming out as well soon. So it will be good to obviously hear a Villa fan's perspective. Just a couple of things to touch on first before I take a couple of comments. Burnley, which is very strange, obviously it sacked Dash, and we sort of said it's a bad idea. It's what are you doing, Alan Pace? You have either got gigantic balls or you are one giant prick. Like, what have you done? However, it seems this man has enormous balls. He's took a very ballsy move, and it's led to Mark Jackson being a contender for Manager of the Month. As you can see there, played for 1-3, drawn 1, lost 0 points. Obviously, as you can see just below that, the draw away at West Ham was his first game in charge. Then the good 2-0 win at the Turf, followed by another 1-0 win against Wolves and a 2-1. Well, we stole it in the second half away down at Vicarage Road. And not only that, but Nathan Collins, our centre-back, is also in contention for Player of the Month. So, this is a lad who's only 20 years of age. He's going to get better. He's going to get, miles better, in my opinion. And he's been absolutely solid since coming in for the injured Ben Mee. However, I think the way things are going, I'd keep Ben Mee on the touchline by all accounts.
Yeah.
And also, we are going for Goal of the Month. Connor Roberts cutting in from the right-hand side and having a shot from the edge of the box against Southampton is also a contender, as I say, for Goal of the Month. So, yeah, the Burnley players left, right and centre in there. I bet we don't win one of them. I reckon Thomas Frank will probably get it for Manager of the Month. Nathan Collins, he'd be very, very lucky, but I'm not sure. And Connor Roberts, well, no, Burnley putting the ball in the back of the net. Nobody likes to see that. So I doubt that. I doubt Burnley will win that. Rich, I'll come to you first with the main question, really. Your thoughts on your season so far?
Consistently inconsistent, I would say. It speaks for itself in terms of where we are in the league. Firstly, how we've looking at our results across the season, like in terms of how few draws we've got, and yeah, just the runs that we've had. Like we've either gone on one run of 5 straight defeats that ended up costing Dean Smith his job. We've just recently come off the back of 4 defeats in a row under Gerrard, where we've just kind of put that to bed. But we've interspersed that with runs of like 3 wins in a row, and a couple of times this season. So it's just been like that all season. It's just been a real roller coaster, and you think if only we'd have we've got a real soft centre. Like we've only had one game this season where we've come back from being 1-0 down to win a game. And then there's only been another one occasion where we came back to draw against Man United when we were 2-0 down. And that just says it all about the way we are as a team. Like we just very, very rarely come back from being a goal down to get any sort of result out of the game. And then when we won it, but on the flip side, when we go up 1-0 up in a game, we often win with a clean sheet. So it's just been a funny season in the fact that we've just been so inconsistent with our results, and where we are in the table is exactly where those results suggest you should be.
No, fair assessment. Very fair assessment. Before we go on to speaking about Gerrard, do you think that the difference of football stances between Dean Smith and Gerrard, do you think there is much difference? Have you seen much difference in Villa since it's been a change of manager?
I think when he first came in, there was a noticeable difference in terms of we were certainly less. There was certainly less space between the lines in terms of not necessarily between the lines vertically, but certainly like across the pitch.
Yeah.
Like our wide players always used to stay really wide under Dean Smith, and our midfield was always so stretched, which was sometimes good in terms of taking teams on the break. But whenever a team got the ball, they could just walk through us. So initially, when Gerrard came in, he tightened that up considerably in terms of that midfield area, and particularly impact that midfield area. I think he's tried to. I don't know whether he's quite got the personnel to play that consistently with. He's still got a lot of Dean Smith players, so we've kind of gone back to that old style, if you like. We've kind of done a little bit half and half because we're not quite as expansive in midfield, but he's gone with 2 wide midfielders again and one player up front through the middle.
Yeah.
So in that short answer to your question, at the moment there isn't a great deal of difference. But I think with a full pre-season and with with maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 players of his own adding to that squad and 1 or 2 leaving, I think we'll begin to start seeing the Gerrard effect that he had on Rangers coming into Villa. I think we'll see more of that. But yeah, at the moment there's not a huge, and that's the kind of talk on Twitter that Villa fans aren't seeing that difference in Gerrard's Villa to Dean Smith's Villa. But it's very difficult when you've got players other than Luca Dean, who hasn't played very often, and Philippe Coutinho. You basically got the same team that Dean Smith had. So you've got to kind of tread carefully when you're a new manager coming in midway through the season.
Definitely. Going back probably just a little bit before Gerrard came in, obviously selling Jack Grealish, it came around. I think the way that you'd done it was perfect in a sense, because the chairman came out and made it clear that, you know, it just was what it was, that we said anything above 100 million in your contract, that, you know, you're free to talk. Did you worry a little bit at the start of the season when it was a case of you'd lost him? Did you think, or was you sort of thinking, if we can invest this properly, we've got a good chance of fighting for at least a top half finish this season?
Yeah, I think I don't want to sit on the fence, but I think it was mixed because
Yeah,
I think you bang on, like the way that it was done was handled very well at that time. And there was a lot of optimism because we won the final 2 games of the season. We finished in 11th place after just staying up the season before. We'd got all this money in. We'd signed these, you know, Buendia, Ings, and Leon Bailey. So everything's like optimistic. You think, right, they already had this plan in place. You know, there was a lot of times where it was kind of Villa were Jack Grealish FC, like literally
yeah,
everything went through him. So you kind of thought, well, it is time that these other players stepped up. It is time that Villa didn't have to rely on Jack Grealish so much. But at the same time, you're losing a player of that caliber. Like, he's irreplaceable. You
yeah,
can't, for a team like us, he's absolutely irreplaceable. So there was that little bit of trepidation of, you know, what is going to happen if we do, as and when we've lost him. Having looked at it throughout the season now and looking at where we've talked about this on my episode, but where we are now and where he is as a player, everything hasn't quite worked out as for both parties, I would imagine, as they envisaged it. You
no,
know,
I
Leon,
said same. I
yeah,
said same. I said I don't see where Grealish will fit at Manchester City. I said, to be honest, I said Man City could take somebody from League Two, but as long as he's got the quality around him, it's going to work. But we've seen this year that it's sort of not. He can't. He hasn't sort of got up to speed with the way Man City are doing things. He's sort of been. I'll tell you a player we saw it with. Zaha was a main star at Palace. You know, similar to Grealish being the main star at Villa. Went to Manchester United, flop.
yeah.
Are we
Yeah.
seeing a similar? Are we seeing a similar pattern with Grealish?
Quite possibly. I think next season is a real key season, because I think one thing in his favour is this isn't uncommon with players that go to Man City, and it does take them like a season to kind of bed into the Pep way. But my only reservation on that is they've not really had a player like Jack Grealish, and England doesn't really have a player like Jack Grealish. Like, there isn't many of them of his type.
No.
And can he be coached? Does he need to be coached, or does he just need to be told, just do what you want on the pitch, just go out and play? Because when he was at Villa, that's all he did. That's literally all he did, and you know, he won games single-handedly for us. Like, I remember the season that we just stayed up when we beat you guys 2-1, and he scored an absolute brilliant goal. You
Yeah,
know, and he just had those moments where he could do stuff like that, and I just don't see those moments at Man City, and I don't see them happening ever. Like, I don't see him getting the opportunity to glide past 3 players and slide someone in, because he's not going to be given that opportunity to run with the ball. But equally with Villa, you know, Leon Bailey hasn't done anything this season, and he came with a real high profile, and he was going to be, you know, he was going to light up the division. Now, don't get me wrong, he's had a couple of injuries, but he just doesn't look anywhere near that player. You know, Danny Ings has had an up and down season. Like, when he does play and he gets a run of games, he is real quality. And I know you know, obviously ex Burnley, and
yeah,
he's a real quality player, but he hasn't quite hit the heights, and him and Ollie Watkins haven't quite hit the heights in terms of a partnership. And then Emi Buendia is probably the most successful out of those, but he's finding his nose pushed out of joint because we've signed Philip Coutinho. So I think that just adds to the first question that you said about the kind of
yeah,
inconsistencies of Villa this season, and not really being able to find the rhythm and being able to find a groove in terms of the season. And you know, you guys are really in that groove at the moment, and it's ironic almost that it's taken a change of manager, like a legend, really, to leave to kind of get that.
yeah. It's been a mad couple of weeks at Turf Moor. I can tell you that. Speaking of Gerrard, what firstly, what were your thoughts when you appointed Gerrard? Was you thinking, oh, brilliant, but then also at the back of your mind thinking, we're just a stepping stone to the Liverpool job?
I was all for him. I mean, I was probably all for Gerrard probably 6 months before he signed for us.
Fair enough, fair play.
I wanted him. I wanted to be truthful. I think Dean Smith did a great job for us, but I think the 2 wins that we got at the end of last season kept him in a job. I think they would have got rid of him at the end of that season had we not
Yeah.
won those last 2 games, because we were just on a terrible run at the end of that season. So I think that bought him some time. But yeah, I was all for Steven Gerrard 6 months before he came in. So, when he came in, I was like, it couldn't come soon enough. I do think and believe that he is the next special English manager. I just think he's got that aura about him, and he's got that kind of fear factor that there aren't many managers that have that. And if he can match that with either the right people around him or develop his coaching ability, I think he could be a real special manager. But yeah, so yeah, I thought great in terms of the stepping stone to Liverpool. If I was always of the opinion that if he's going to get the Liverpool job, it must mean that he's done something good at Villa. So I'll take that. I mean, most managers don't last more than 3 years anyway. So if he moves on to Liverpool after 3 years and gets Villa where he needs to get them, then happy days. Let's sign him off. But I think Klopp signed a new deal now, so that might buy us a bit more time, to be honest.
No, definitely, definitely. And how good was it? Sorry, that you play Norwich, Dean Smith's in charge, your new manager sends your old manager down. How did that feel?
Oh, it's a bittersweet one, isn't it? Because
I bet you were sat there just giving it a bit of, you know what, that's yours, that's it, you made your bed, you lie in it.
It's a hard one, really, because Smith, he had a lot of love he had a lot of love for Villa fans, and I think at the end of when he did go, I still think it was probably about 40-60 in his, like, I think in our favour. I think 60% were like, yes, it's time for him to go, but 40% probably were like, no, let's keep him. We signed a long-term project with Dean Smith. So I think there was a lot of kind of sadness, really, and it's just football's a funny way of doing that, doesn't it? Like, he goes back to his old club and we beat them and we send them down, but he got a great reception from the fans. He got a good reception at the end of the game, but he had a lot of games at Norwich to try and turn it around, and it can't really be. I know they were probably down before the start of the season, but they brought him in to change, to have a reaction and to change things. And to be honest, he hasn't really done that. So I do hope he brings them back up, but I think deep down he'll probably be disappointed in himself that he didn't have a bigger impact on than what he did. But yeah, it was a bit bittersweet. It was great to win because Villa needed a win. Like, we'd drawn against Leicester, stopped the rot a little bit, but in terms of needing that win, we definitely did. And it was probably the right team to come to Villa Park and get back to winning ways.
No, fair shout, fair shout. Just bear with me one moment. This is what I mean about shoddy landlords, right? She's in the shower. She's now stopped, so I don't even have to move. But it's coming through the bloody ceiling.
Oh dear.
When people say Burnley's a shithole, I'm really selling it. I'm really selling it here, aren't I? I'll explain it later to her. Let's have a quick look then at the recent games. As you can see there, obviously a good result against Norwich. A dying goal to solidify Norwich's relegation in the last fixture. And I said, talk me through the games before. Was it an even contest, or do you think you should have got something away at the King Power?
Even contest, mate. I was there. It was probably one of the worst games that I've been to in a long time. Both teams were. I think Leicester had one eye on the the first leg of their semi-final in the Conference League. Villa were off the back of 4 defeats in a row, so neither team really wanted to push to really go out and win the game, and it was definitely an end of season mid-table game. The game before that against Tottenham, they got an early goal, then we battered them for the first half. Probably could have and should have been 2 or 3-1 up, but once we'd thrown everything at Tottenham, they kind of knew that we'd thrown everything at them. In the second half, they changed their tactics a little bit, went more direct, and absolutely hammered us. And then the 2 games before that, it's always disappointing to lose against your local Premier League rivals, at least against Wolves, and that wasn't a great performance. And then Arsenal, we've not done well against the top 8 teams this season, so that was kind of a real disappointing performance. But yeah, I think we're just off the back of 2 solid results. So I'd hope that a little bit more confidence has been brought back into the team.
100%, 100%. I mean, speaking of confidence, I look at Burnley's last 5 there. The Norwich one's one that
it's
really
absolutely frightening.
It is. The Norwich one for me is the one that sticks with me a bit, because we'd beaten Everton, we'd done the hard task, we'd made it level on points at the time, and it was like that was a must-win game. And then we turn up at Carrow Road, and it's almost like we've walked into that game already expecting them to just roll over and give us the win.
Yeah.
And it's almost like bit us in the arse.
Are you guys 4 wins? Are you 4 wins from 6 then? Was Everton the game before?
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
4 wins from 7. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, yeah. Sorry, 4 wins from 6. Yeah. So you guys have won 3 in a row. Drew against West Ham, lost to Norwich, but before that, beaten Everton. I mean, that form is frightening.
Yeah, to be fair, we should have got something away at West Ham. Cornet missed a penalty, which J-Rod had the ball at the time and was ready to put it on the spot, but Cornet said, no, I went down in the box, I'm having it. Fair enough. They thought, interim manager, I'll do what I want. And yeah, as I said, we did well at keeping West Ham at bay to begin with, but West Ham on set pieces this season have been deadly, and Souček were in the right spot to get an equaliser. I mean, we can't really go off our previous meetings. They're both games from last season.
Yeah.
Because our games obviously got put back to obviously this dying end of the season. But
Sure.
You sat on 40 points, and the teams around you are now into the 30s, and that's the teams that are around 16th, 17th. When you look at your games recently, and you think, apart from that Norwich game, which hopefully should have give you a bit of momentum to kick on a little bit, do you fear you could potentially get dragged into it?
No, I don't. To be honest, I think we've 40 points is enough. I think it's going to be very, very difficult for the 3. I mean, I think Brentford are below us as well on similar points, and I think there might be one other team. But if you're looking at yourselves, Everton and Leeds as being the 3 for one relegation position, the chances of those 3 teams all picking up, like all turning around a 6-point deficit, and I think Leeds got less points, or has Everton got less points? I can't remember. I think it might be Everton, maybe with a 9-point deficit or something silly. To think that would happen with 3 teams to do that, and then Villa losing all of their remaining 5 games, I can't see it.
No.
So no, I don't think so. I think even if we were to lose all the games apart from one to get 1 point in one of the games, that would put us on 41, which would be more than enough. So no, I'm not worried. I would just like to end the season. As I said before, our season has been a series of runs of wins, runs of defeats, back to a small run of wins, back to another small run of defeats, back to a small run of wins, back to another small run of defeats. So I'm hoping that we finish it with a little flourish and a few wins. So Yeah, I can't see it. I think we'll probably get another. I think I've predicted 7 points from the final 5 games of the season. So I think something around that would be reasonable.
Yeah, it's interesting. As I say, we've got to play each other twice, haven't we now?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think you've got 2 games between us, but we've got one. We've only got Spurs, and I think you've got 2 to play. I'm not sure.
yeah. We've got you guys on Saturday, and then we've got Liverpool at home on next Tuesday, Crystal Palace away on the Crystal Palace at home next Sunday.
Yeah, you've got
Then
3. Yeah, and then us at
you guys,
your place.
yeah, at
Yeah, so
home.
you've got 3 home games and then 1 away. And yeah, I think
Yeah, we've got Man City, the last game of the season, which
could
is
be a title
interesting.
decider.
Yeah, with Steven Gerrard, could he get a result to hand the title to Liverpool? I don't know,
Oh, I
but
didn't look at it like that before, but now you mention it.
yeah, yeah.
Now you mention it, I'm sure you'll take it. I'm sure you will take it.
I would take it as well, and Grealish as well hasn't won a trophy since he's gone to Man City. So could it be the
Every cloud.
Grealish curse? Yeah.
Why not? Um, Go on then. You tell us then, because pretty much this looks like the 3 contenders set for the drop. Fat Frank, a fake Jody Marsh, and the dead musician. So who do you see occupying 17th? Especially when I'm guessing you'll have looked at the run-ins,
Yes.
and I just think, for me, I can't look any further than Leeds.
Yeah. Well, don't listen to my podcast episode, because you probably won't like my choice. But because I'm on your podcast, I'm gonna say Leeds. Yeah, I
Hey, don't
think
worry about it. I said the exact same thing when all this like stuff against Sheffield United happened with this no watch malarkey. So don't look back on this channel either.
it's gonna be so it's so many twists and turns still. I mean, have you guys got 4 games left? Or
Yeah.
3?
So we've got
4
you
games
twice.
left.
You twice. Sorry, we've got you this weekend, then Spurs, then yourselves again,
Yeah.
and then Newcastle
Right.
at the Turf on the final day.
Right.
Which
So
Newcastle fans have all been saying they're not bothered. They want to play Jimmy Nail and Anton Deck in midfield. They'd rather send Everton or Leeds down.
Yeah, I think Leeds on paper have got the real toughest running. My only concern for you guys is to win 4 Premier League games in a row. And I said this on my episode, is extremely difficult. It is so difficult to win 4 games in a row. I don't know if, other than Tottenham, Man City, and Liverpool, I don't know any other Premier League team this season that have done it. I'm sure there are. I mean, maybe Chelsea as well have probably done it, but it's so difficult to win 4 in a row. It's hard enough to win 3 in a row. So that's my only concern with you guys. Like, if we beat you on Saturday, then you go to Spurs. That's a tough place to go. That's my only concern. I think unfortunately Everton, I think, will have enough, particularly with their home form. Leeds is the one where I think their running is really difficult, and they I think they have the, they will. I think it's probably between you guys, but I mean, the run that you guys have been on, 13 points from the last 6 games, is unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And obviously I'll ask you, but it seems to me like changing the manager, although he was an absolute legend, it seems like the shackles have come off you guys a little bit. Like, you seem to be playing more progressive passing. You seem to be keeping the ball a little bit better. Seem to be creating more chances. Obviously, it comes with confidence, but it seems like Dwight McNeil has suddenly got a new lease of life. Like, he's playing like he was last season, like beating players and putting good crosses in. So, and that Veghorst, although he's not scoring a great deal of goals, I say that now, ready before he plays us on Saturday, but he just seems to link up the play really well.
Yeah, it does.
And so so it just like you guys have given yourselves the best chance of of staying up. Like that's the best thing I can say about it, because that's all you want at this stage of the season as well, isn't it? Like, from the position that you're in, you want to give yourself the best chance of staying up and giving yourselves that opportunity. I think the other good thing about you guys is you've been in that position before. You've got players who've done it before.
Yeah, that's what I was saying to everybody else, that Everton don't realise what sort of dogfight they're in. Leeds sort of get it, but I think they feel that they've got every right to be there because massive club tag.
Yeah.
And we've just been scraping the barrel. Apart from that Europa run that year, we've been scraping the barrel every season. So, it's strange because I've sat here as soon as Dash went and said the only person, if we do go down to get us back up, is Dash. But Alan Pace, as I said, has got giant cojones. He's made a very ballsy move, and if anything, as I said to a few people, he's probably reciprocated the way that his hand felt when his wife were grasping that during childbirth. He's probably done the same to her with every 90 minutes of football since making that decision. So it's come swings and roundabouts.
I mean, this game for you guys is massive. This Saturday's game is huge for you guys. It really is.
I'd take a point now, but I don't know. It's the fact that we've got the 2 games as well. It's almost like a bit of leeway. But with this one being at Turf Moor,
exactly,
that's where you've got to take them. But that leads us on to the predictions. So this is where it gets interesting. First and foremost, Klopp hasn't signed a new contract. That was all just rumours. Gerrard's gone to Liverpool. It's already happened. Rich, you've been appointed. You've got the scarf aloft. You've had the shirt with the name on the back. You're picking the team for this weekend. Who makes your Aston Villa starting 11?
Wow, that's a tough question, because I think we're in one of these positions in the season where he's given a few players opportunities to either play for their shirt for next season or play to put themselves in the shop window. And we've seen like players coming in that, like Callum Chambers came in out of nowhere, out of not playing the last 3 or 4 games on Saturday. He played a young player called Tim Irigbonham in defensive midfield, a young 18-year-old, gave him his first start. So I think there'll be a few changes for us, but I think Emi Martinez will be in goal.
Yeah,
I think he'll go with the same back 4 that started against Norwich. So that'll be Matty Cash at right back, Luca Dean at left back, and Tyrone Mings and Callum Chambers in central defence. I think he will go with Marvelous Nakamba in the defensive midfield position, and then he'll go with John McGinn and I think maybe Douglas Luiz instead of Jacob Ramsey. And then I think he'll play Emi Buendia and Danny Ings and Ollie Watkins up front. So I think he'll be more compact, tighter midfield, and try and get the width from pushing his fullbacks on. And then I think Ings changed the game against Norwich on Saturday and came on and did really well. So I think he definitely deserves his start. And Villa fans have been absolutely crying out for Buendia to start. So I think he comes in instead of Coutinho for the start, and then Coutinho maybe comes on this time instead of the other way around.
No, that sounds fair enough. Who do you think Burnley should look out for? I mean, it's so easy to turn around from a Burnley perspective and say Danny Ings is going to want to put in a game of his life, being against a former club. But who would you say that we should fear the most?
I think Ollie Watkins is starting to capture some form towards the end of this season. I think he had a very good second half against Leicester, was unlucky not to score. He had a very good game on Saturday against Norwich. So I think he's kind of got the bit between his teeth. I also think Emi Buendia, if he does start, I think he's been, every time he's come on in the last sort of few weeks, he's always like lit the team up and done really well. So I think he would be one to certainly watch out for. And then I think obviously if Coutinho is on the bench in that situation, I think obviously him coming on, because I can't see him not coming on. So I would say those players, like, other than Ings playing against his old club, I think Watkins, Buendia, definitely ones to watch for me.
Interesting. And who do you fear the most? I mean, we were expecting Maxwell Cornet to be back against Watford. He wasn't. So there's a good chance maybe he may be back for this fixture. But for you personally, who do you fear the most from the Burnley 11?
We don't have a great deal of height in our team. So we've only got Tyrone Mings, Chambers or Konza, whoever out of those two players at centre back, and then Emi Martinez, obviously the goalkeeper, who are above 6 foot. So for me, I think any of your players from set pieces. So you're looking at, your Tarkovsky, Collins, Weghorst. You've got, I would be worried if and when we concede any set pieces around you. And I think Weghorst is one of those players who's like great feet for a big man. It's that old cliche. Like, so I think he links the players well together. So I think McNeil I've always been a fan of, and I think he's really come into his own. I was really surprised that like Aaron Lennon was getting in ahead of him, and I was always really puzzled about that, because I've always found that Aaron Lennon, he's quite quick and he tries hard, but he's hasn't got a lot to his game other than like dropping the shoulder and knocking it in front of him and
being
running,
a bit of an Adama Traore, a bit of a speed man.
Yeah. Whereas I was thinking that McNeil's got a lot more to his game. So
We've
yeah,
just not seen it consistently enough from McNeil this season. I think that's the only reason why. And we all agreed that when Dash dropped him for a few games, and then when he came back, he was almost like the McNeil would sign, but then it dropped off again.
Yeah.
But then Dash is like, listen, take the booze, take the shit, take the flack, because you're going to get it in football. If anything, learn from it, nurture yourself from it. But as I say, since Dash went, the purse strings have been off, and that's it. He's been free to roam and do what he pleases, and it's stood us in better offstead.
Absolutely. And Jay Rodriguez always tends to get a goal against us in some way, shape, or form, like he used to do at the Baggies and we were in the Championship. But yeah, I think McNeil, Weghorst, and as I say, any height, any balls into the box from set pieces, I think I'll be very worried.
No, I would, and I look at the fact of Jay Rodriguez obviously signed a new 2-year contract, so I'll probably see out the rest of his career at Turf Moor if it goes the full hog. But yeah, scoreline prediction for this one, because usually on a Friday I do a prediction video for the Premier League, so I don't give my prediction away. But tomorrow I'm taking my stepdaughter and my 5-year-old daughter to go see Little Mix in Manchester. So, I've got to do my daddy duties.
Yeah, of course.
Take one for the team. He says that I'll be there. Little Mix dad.
You'll be loving it. Yeah, you'll be loving it. Yeah,
giving it all this.
You'll be pushing. If I see it, if I see a ginger beard with glasses at the front with a cap on, I'll know it's you on the news. I think I would go for. I think I said this on mine. I think Kevin, who did the show with me, he predicted a 2-1 Burnley win. So he went against Villa. I went the other way. I've gone for a 2-1 Villa win.
Interesting. I mean, I take Kevin's prediction, obviously.
Yeah.
This for me screams one of those games where Burnley want the win, because obviously with Everton getting the 3 points against Chelsea, Burnley still need to do their bit. Not that we should shut up shop now anyway, keep things going, because for me that Watford game was a big turnaround. We'd not been 1-0 down under this interim manager and thought, right, how do we get out of this? We've only come back in a game once all season, and that was against Everton. So how do we sort of re-energise ourselves and go again in the second half? But we did. So I'd be happy with a 1-0 shithouse win. Just won't surprise me. Something like it's a proper dead heat, chances galore, and then Ashley Barnes comes on in last 10 minutes and just him and Tyrone Mings have a bit of a scuffle, but it leaves Vegos free to just put ball away. Who knows? As I say, it is all a matter of opinion. But Rich, it's been absolutely fantastic having you on. Before we go, I want to play a little game with you, and it's called This or That.
This or that.
So yeah, this is just basically, I'm going to give you two options. You let me know which one you prefer, and we'll get straight into it. Home games or away games?
Away games.
Yeah. Full days crack with the lads and everything. Oh, belting. Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube.
Work hard or play hard?
Do you know what? If I was 21, I'd say play hard, but I think work hard now. I think I'm work hard. I don't go out enough to play hard. the away days are enough for me, but it's just the hangovers afterwards. I can't cope with them anymore. Yeah.
Tell me about it. Stilian Petrov or Jack Grealish?
It's got to be Jack, mate. It's got to be.
Fair one. Facebook or Twitter?
Twitter.
Olof Melberg or Tyrone Mings?
Melberg. Yeah. As much as I like Mings, but it's got to be big Melberg. Yeah.
Not wrong with that. I'd have said that. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
All spot on so far. If you could replace any current Villa player with a Burnley player, who would it be? If you had to do a straight swap deal.
It's a good question. I'd probably say Leon Bailey for Dwight McNeil. Or at this moment in time, Chambers is in our team, so I'd say Chambers for Collins. I like him. I think he's a really good player.
No, he is. As I say, only 20. He's got loads of room to improve, and you've got some young defenders there as well, in like Ezra Konsa and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's had an up and down season. Yeah. But no, I like him. I think I'd probably say that. I've always had a soft spot for McNeil. I think we were linked with him towards the end of last season.
Yeah.
So I was really keen for us to sign him at one point, but yeah, you guys have got like not a huge amount of names, so to speak, but just when you get going, you are just a real tough team to play against.
No, it's typical. It's typical. To be fair, I just love the fact that we've become a bit more expansive. We've actually become a bit of a different monster in a sense. We're not defense coming to Turf Moor for a game of head tennis for 90 minutes anymore. We're not a bunch of robotic idiots that just are so static and think ball to feet, pump to the big man, and that's it. We start to get the ball down, find space, play, try and work an opening. And I think that's why I've seen a lot of people who are like, oh, no, Burnley, fuck off, go get relegated, piss off the Championship, don't want what to do with you, get out of the Premier League, like you're boring. And then these last 4 or 5 games since Darsh's sacking, they're all like, nah, send the Toffees down, send Dirty Leeds down. And he's just wow. Not only was Dash holding the first team back, but he's holding all these closet clarets behind us.
You'll have to get a ground improvement next, a ground extension next.
Well, there is rumours of it, but it's a case of which stand to tear down first. I think they're looking at the away end because it's an absolute pigsty. But
I'm there on Saturday, so I'll experience it again. But
you'll see that. I unfortunately couldn't get a ticket. It's just at the moment they are selling like hotcakes. We can't even. I mean, the away fixture. They said that because that one was postponed originally. They said everyone who had an original ticket can still use that, but they had like an extra allocation. So they said, "Oh, you can use these." They went on sale at 2 o'clock, and by 5 past, they'd sold out.
Wow. Yeah,
So we were
it's
just
good.
like, I mean, it's good. I mean, club will be like, yes,
Yeah.
counting it out. But yeah, luckily, I will be watching anyway. Through means that that shall not be named. The big question I need to ask you, the huge question, the biggest question: does pineapple belong on pizza?
Absolutely not.
Oh, Rich, you've gone from there all the way up there. Honestly, legend. Who the heck thought it was a good
I
idea
have
to
no
put that
idea. I have no
stupid
idea.
shite on a pizza? Ridiculous.
Exactly. Nah, meat feast
Ridiculous.
all the way for me.
My man. My man. My man. Honestly, thank you very, very much for giving us an insight into your thoughts on Aston Villa and everything else. Again, let everybody know where they can find you. And again, thank you very much.
No problem at all. It's been a pleasure, mate. It's been a really good show. Really enjoyable.
And yeah, as I say, plug your socials and let everybody know where they can find you again.
Yeah, sure. So at Villa Pod on Instagram and Twitter. So yeah, please follow us there. And then my own personal Twitter is at Southrich. And look out for our episodes, like I said before, on all audio podcast platforms, Spotify, Google, Apple, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. And look out for the YouTube channel launched again. Hopefully before the end of the season, but certainly before the start of next season.
Definitely. And as Mark says there, he's live at the moment, so he's not been able to join us in the chat as he usually does. But yeah, big up to everyone who has put comments in as well. It has been a bit of a slow one tonight. I'm surprised it wasn't anything to do with my Wi-Fi, the lights, or the leak. However, that'll get sorted. Don't worry about it. Landlord's going to get a bollock in it next couple of days. Cowboys. But yeah, as he says, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you are new, we have just got over 400 subscribers. We are slowly growing. Now that Dash has gone, we're slowly turning people's heads a little bit. Now we're playing some football. So hopefully the channel will grow as the club progresses. Thanks again, Rich, for giving us an insight. As I say, Mark for his comment. We've got one more as well. Everton Fan TV. We're in it together. Let's send Leeds. The thing is, I'm with you, mate, right? At first, I was like, yeah, send Everton down, because for me, I didn't think Leeds were in it. And I said it more because my stepdad's a blue. So it's almost like a giant, yeah, you might have my mum's heart, but your arse is in the Championship, so don't worry about it. But no, I agree. If we're going to send anyone down, send those dirty Yorkshire folk from down the road. Send them buggers down to the Championship for a nice little reality check. As I say, please do subscribe. Please do go check out Rich and the Villa Park podcast. A link to their Spotify is in the description of the video. But for now, thank you everyone for watching, for everyone's comments. Again to you, Rich, as well, for giving up your time on a Thursday night. Yeah, just as we've said, people do say it on the way to Wembley, but we'll say it now. It's the business end of the season. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, and hopefully it's going to be another season in the Premier League. But thanks again. Stay safe, and good luck if your team's playing this weekend. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.